Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion.
Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion.
Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion.
Ingestion, ingestion, ingestion.
Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion.
Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion.
Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion.
Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion. Ingestion.
Had ingestion and ingestion. Willis, can you hear me? I hope you're fine in Kisumu. We just had the word on the street. And of course, it's something I really love doing because it concerns eating, and I really love eating despite my body size. But, well, how do we pronounce it? Is it ingestion, as I've heard, ingestion? Which is which, Willis?
Well, Ashley, I can now hear you very clearly, and I would go straight to the pronunciation of that word, and you say ingestion. Ingestion. And Ashley, we also say congestion, digestion, and suggestion.
Suggestion, ingestion, congestion. All right, Willis, it's good to know. So I want us to go straight to the other words. The first one is a bit tricky for me. The fact of knowing something in advance. Can I spell it for you, Willis? It's Prescience. I'm going to go out here and just try it, Willis. Correct me if I'm wrong. Prescience or prescience?
Not really. You say prescience. Prescience. If you're talking about the fact of knowing or appearing to know about things before they happen, you say prescience. It's a tricky one because we have the word science, but this one, the only difference is we have PRE at the beginning, but you say prescience. Just like we say conscience, but not conscience. And you also say omniscience, omniscience, not omniscience.
Omniscience. All right, Willis, thank you for that. Yes. Let's just move on. A type of instrument used in classical music, I would call it a sax because I'm from this generation where we like to shorten stuff. But is it saxophone, saxophone? Which is which, Willis?
Yes, saxophone, the way you said it. But I love the part where you came up with the sax because of the current generation. Sometimes certain, shortened words sound great or stylish, but we have also sometimes to go with the times. But as far as that instrument is concerned, you say saxophone. And we also say lyrics, not lyrics. Lyrics.
Lyrics, saxophone. All right, Willis. What about a change of circumstances or fortune? Is it vicissitude?
Yes, that is the way to say that word, vicissitude. It's a bit tricky because of the syllables in it, or it's fairly long, but you say that word exactly the way you have pronounced it. Vicissitude. Just like you can say...
Yes, Willis, I've had some people say...
vicissitudes of family life.
All right, Willis, I've had a few people say vicissitude, because of the S and the C. A few people can get confused with that, Willis.
You are right, because I must also bring in, now that you've talked about vicissitude and all that, there are people who also find themselves saying association or association instead of association. But these words can be tricky, especially when it comes to pronunciation, which is why sometimes I say that if the education systems in the world could lay enough emphasis on pronunciation, just like vocabulary and grammar, I'm sure we can do better.
All right, Willis, let's just move on. What about what the time, money, or effort spent? That is worthwhile, worthwhile, worthwhile.
What we should avoid is worth. It's very common, worth. There is no sound O in that word. You don't say worthwhile. You don't also say worth. You don't say worthy. You say worth, worthy, worthwhile, worthless, and all that. So the O and R combine to form the long mid-central sound R, worth, just like in the word word or work. So, worthwhile.
All right, worthwhile. I hope I got it, Willis. All right, so let's just move on. The flesh at the back of one's throat hanging from the soft palate. Is it pellet or palate, first of all, Willis, before we go on to that word?
You say palate.
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 All right, palate.
The soft palate, yes.
Palate. It's U-V-U-L-A. Uvula?
Yes, that is how you pronounce that word, uvula. What we should avoid is avula. I once had even somebody saying avala, avala. I don't know why people like, or imagine that anywhere where you get letter U, it should take the sound A. I don't know whether it's because of that pre-primary, story or teaching of letter U sound A for umbrella, but people should know that letter U takes different sounds in different words. So this one, you say uvula.
Uvula. Uvula. Got it, Willis.
Yes.
All right, let's just move on. Not existing or occurring at the same time. I'll just spell it out for you, Willis. A-S-Y-N-C-H-R-O-N-O-U-S.
Oh, you say asynchronous, asynchronous. What you should avoid is saying asynchronous. Just like the other time I talked about apolitical, not political, apolitical. Don't say apolitical.
Apolitical.
Aplastic. Don't say aplastic. Aplastic, apolitical, asynchronous.
Why is that, Willis? Why not I and A?
Letter A takes its name when it's added. It's now, that is like now a prefix. So that A, now you say A, its name. Don't say A, you say A. Just like you have the word ate. He ate all the food. You can't say he ate all the food. So letter A has, in fact, up to 9 sound values in English language. So if we were to go through some lesson, I would take you through all those.
All right. Apolitical. Got it, Willis. Next time I see it on the script.
Apolitical, yes.
All right. I will do that next time I see it, Willis. It's a learning, a learning life. All right. So let's just go on.
As I always say, Ashley, nobody's perfect and nobody knows everything. Just what we have to do is to try and, learn or study so that we have what we call definite knowledge. Nobody, not even Willis, can know everything in a language.
All right, Willis, but you're a step ahead. All right, so let's just go on.
Research.
The next word, Willis, working for payment rather than voluntarily. I'll spell it again, S-T-I-P-E-N-D-I-A-R-Y. Stipendiary.
Oh, yes, that is what you say, sty. Don't say sti. Just like we have the word stipend, not stipend. Then stipendiary. Like a stipendiary magistrate. That is when we're talking about, Britain, stipendiary magistrate. Don't say stipendiary or stipendiary. No, stipendiary.
But Willis, that's a very tricky word because of the diary bit. One can easily just say diary, stipendiary, which is quite...
Can I give you another example,
Yes,
Ashley?
please. Yes, please, Willis.
We have the word vine. Vine, but you say vinegar or vinegar.
All right. All right.
Vinegar. Is that so?
Yes, Willis. Okay, so what other words do you have for us?
Because that is irregularities.
Okay.
Okay, we have Martha Musyoki of Mombasa. Martha, you say umbrella and advertisement. Advertisement. You can also say advertisement, but don't say advertisement. Advertisement, no. To advertise, then advertisement or advertisement. Ahmed Guhad of Garissa, robbery in a bank. You say heist. Don't say haste. H-E-I-S-T. H-E-I-S-T. You pronounce that word as heist, not haste. Haste is H-A-S-T-E. Anna Njoki, Lillian Mumbi, and Margaret Jerry, you say beverage, beverage. But we have the word leverage. leverage, which is also pronounced as leverage in American English. But the first word which you wanted us to focus on, you say beverage. We have Collins Mabanga of Kampala. I don't know whether I should say Champala, but Kampala, Uganda, you say anemia. Don't say anemia. Ordinarily, many people find themselves saying anemia, but that word is pronounced as anemia. Just like you say powder, not powder. Brian Okech Amwai of Nairobi, you say era, that is E-R-A. In British pronunciation, it is era, that E-R-A word. But when we have E-R-R-O-R, you say era. Then E-R-R is to is human, to In American English, you'll hear somebody saying to err, or error is also acceptable for E-R-A. Jacob Otiende, karatasi is paper, P-A-P-E-R. Then pili-pili, P-E-P-P-E-R, you pronounce it as pepper. So one has the glide A, that is paper, karatasi. But the other one, pili-pili, simply clean, or what we call a pure vowel sound, pepper. Patricia Mwende of Voi, parallelogram. She's saying I should try my tongue with this one, but Mwende, you are trying to talk to maybe a crocodile on how to swallow an egg. You get that figurative reference. Anyway, you say parallelogram, and you also say souvenir. Jemima Anyango of Migori, you say communique. Don't say communique or communique. Enoch Kiprono of Kapsabet, you say marauding gangs. Don't say marauding. Then we go straight now to surprise word, or our surprise word for tonight. Now, those who are at home, can you try? I know many of you have said counterfeit. You don't say fate, you say counterfeit. Just like you say forfeit, not for fate. Surfeit, not surfeit. Then we come to the three confusing words. The first one, the upper one is gauge, to gauge. Second one, gauge, that is the middle word. And then the one below is gouge, to gouge the eyes out. Gouge, not to gouge the eyes. Gouge. And then finally, we have this diphthong. That is the symbol, phonetic or sound symbol A. Just like we say date, haste, pay, rain, wait. So what you should realize as a viewer is that certain sounds are found in different words. Others will come in our next editions of Mind Your Language. I'm Willis Ochieng. You can also interact with me on Twitter. My handle is @WillisOchieng1. Back to Nairobi.
All right. Thank you very much, Willis. It's always a pleasure having you with us. And of course, it's always a good time learning. So we want to almost close up the show. But before we do, we're getting all your tweets and we appreciate it. One, Bonfest Stonebanks. We're sending a happy belated birthday to your son. As we close with one feature that we have prepared for you, on behalf of Jesse and I, we want to close the show before going to that story. But here, let's just read this story. Kenya has lately suffered stiff competition for traditional tourist numbers from her regional rivals. However, stakeholders